What's up, wrestling fans? Thank you for listening to the Steve and Jay Show. I am not Steve, but don't you worry your pretty little heads, because this guy sitting right over here to my right-hand side, he happens to be the Hall of Famer, Steve Frazier. I'm Jason Courier, and if you're a wrestling fan like we are, please click subscribe down below and come back sometime and hang out with us. We love talking wrestling.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Anytime.
Talking wrestling, drinking beers.
So, Jay, what's going on? What's cracking?
Oh, All In is my number one topic of the week of wrestling for today is September the 6th, 2018. The week of wrestling this last Saturday, All In happened on September 1st. In Chicago, they had, what was it, 11,000 and
yeah, it was like 11,123 or something like that.
Yeah,
and it was supposed to be 10,000. Was supposed to be like just berserk, amazing amount. Like and we'll get to that.
Like they said a few times during the event, historical, because it was the first time that anybody had done that.
That sold out.
That wasn't WWE since WCW, who no longer and hasn't for wow. So awesome stuff, just amazing things. So some of we're not going to go through all the matches, but some of the highlight type matches for us.
There's a lot that got your attention too.
Yeah, the Stephen Amell match was the first one that really kind of caught my eye, only because of the crazy shit that Stephen Amell did as an actor, and he doesn't. The way he
flowed,
he did a pretty decent job. And when he jumped off from the outside onto the table, or the inside of the ring to the outside of the ring, onto the table, that was. And
even then, just like having just come out of the blue, just out of the woodwork, and have that character.
This was only his second match ever, because he had competed in a
and he got hurt.
He had competed in that WWE match with Neville, and the tag team match against
and then
Stardust.
The 205 when it was first started going on, right? That's when they ventured off, right?
SummerSlam or something like that.
Well, I'm just saying though, exactly. But that's what kind of veered off with that.
Yeah, so that was his only match. Oh, it was a tag team match. So this was his first.
And I didn't even know who he was until you told me about
Daniels, which is pretty cool.
SCU.
And SCU. And speaking of SCU, they fought.
I will say this. Hold on. I'm going to interrupt you. I will say this, though. I did not know about him until you said something about him. And he's very entertaining.
He's awesome.
He's awesome.
Yeah, he's awesome.
He's fucking entertaining.
Yeah, so he ended up winning the match at the end.
Absolutely.
He pointed to Christopher Daniels and he said, you can see him say, "You're fucking crazy." So, which is awesome.
You even mentioned that. You even mentioned that.
Yeah, like the first thing out of his mouth is like he points to him. He's like, "You're fucking crazy."
No, you even mentioned that to me. Yeah. Did you see that? And I was like, I did not see that. You're like, dude, I read his lips and he said, "You're fucking crazy."
The other members
tables and all that shit and everything, right?
Yep.
And that was a really good, entertaining match.
He's an actor. He doesn't have to do that shit.
That's why he's like, "You're fucking crazy. You don't have to do that.
What are you doing?" Yeah.
Yeah. So
and he shook his hand like that was legit. Like,
I will say this.
And he told him to get up on the ropes and do the hands up thing. Like he was like,
you did tell me that, and you told me verbatim when you read his lips. So that's what brings my attention. So that's why I know, because there's a lot of things that I don't remember, but I do.
Something that's pretty cool
is that was a really good match.
The other members of the remaining members of SoCal Uncensored, Frankie Kazarian and Scorpio Sky,
there you go.
went at it with the Briscoe brothers during the 0 hour, they called it, which was the kind of pre-fight, pre-show thing that was on WG in America. I didn't get to see. Thank you very much, even though I paid for Ring of Honor Club.
I like
VIP.
I like your visual.
So that I could watch all of it. I thought, no, I don't get to watch the fucking 0 hour.
Awesome. That I paid
get to
for.
Watch somebody fucking stream it, and I got the audio of it. Great. Anyway.
No, but you have a good judgment of talent.
So anyway, this is the cool little fun fact here. Christopher Daniels and the Briscoe brothers were both at the very first Ring of Honor event.
Wow.
So
Wow.
they were at the first at All
Wow.
In
Wow.
and the very first.
That's really cool.
Pretty cool, right?
So if you weren't a fan and you didn't know that, but if you were a fan, you put that together, that's really cool because just what happened
Yeah.
not too long ago, right? Just
Yeah.
what you're saying right now, the anniversary.
And,
So that's
Briscoe's
probably
lost
why
in
that's
the
why it happened, right?
Pre-show, but or 0
Well, we
hour,
got to say,
whatever they
like,
called it.
that might be the D League, but, it's starting to set up characters.
It's not the D League though. That's the thing.
But you understand,
it's really
though.
not.
I know, but you understand, though.
I think they showed with All In that
Development.
they are not the fucking D League.
It's character building, right?
Yeah.
That's just basically what it is. I mean, we could sit here and debate.
Well, it's characters that you just don't recognize.
Well, it's
at this
building.
point.
It's building up. Like,
But you will.
Look at how Xena started.
And you
John
will
Cena.
based on what
Well-
happened too during the event too.
Look how John Cena started.
Well, everybody started in the
That's what this is for, right? And that's why it's called
Yeah,
D
everybody
League
had to start
Development,
somewhere.
right? And so you got who's the guy with the piercings? Good Lord, it's got a blank. Prince Albert.
Oh,
So
God.
Prince Albert,
Oh yeah, he's
he's
like
a
major
huge,
coach in the
huge coach.
developmental.
And then you got Triple H, doing the character side. And then you got William Regal making sure that the matches make sense. And then you got actual...
So is that it? Is William Regal kind of like their main booker and
Pretty much.
Yeah.
He's the storyteller.
Gotcha.
He's like the librarian.
Gotcha.
Triple H is the setter and everybody
He
else.
knows all the Hollywood shit and
Right, exactly. And that's why Dustin Rhodes, has a part with it. And that's what intrigued Triple H because he was
Dusty,
that...
you mean?
I mean, Dusty, not
Yeah.
Dustin. Yeah, you feel me?
Yeah.
But you understand, and
Yeah, no, he had a major thing in NXT, right? I mean,
Absolutely.
NXT was,
that was his
which
thing.
is what makes
Well, that was his baby.
the whole All In thing so cool. Is that
Well, that was his baby. He was the one that started it. He's the president. He's the creator. He had the belief in that. He was the one that went to Vince and said, hey, you know what? Maybe we can help our business because that's when they had the hit when they switched from WWF to WWE.
Mhm.
So there was a pretty hefty little fine there. So then they started figuring out what's going on. We got competition.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when NXT came about, the Development League, and he was the ambassador of that, and William Regal as well. Like, William Regal and him are like just,
Or like super tight,
yes.
tight like Nat Booty.
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
Anyway,
what's
so the
going
night
on?
was really fun. The whole night was really fun. There was a fatal four-way that was a women's fatal four-way that was super, super fun.
Dude, that was very interesting, right?
Amazingly fun. Adam Page and Joey Janela had a really fun night too. Had a fun fight too.
Yeah.
That they did a lot of crazy shit.
Even top rope shit.
Yeah, no, they did.
Yeah.
Did a lot of really. Crazy,
That was cool.
And when Adam threw Joey Janela from the ramp stage,
Yeah.
like off the
Like
the
throwing a
ramp
Nerf screamer.
through the tables, and he missed the table by a little bit. I just like it was a pretty brutal match.
No, it was. It was
Um,
brutal, but it was actually entertaining. It was kind of funny that you mentioned that. That
One
was
of my
funny.
favorite matches of the night was the Cody Rhodes. I'm not allowed to say Cody Rhodes.
Ooh.
Cody, the American Nightmare, versus Nick Aldis for the NWA
God.
Championship, the 10 pounds of gold. And at the end of the night,
What was your take on that? What
I
was your
really,
take on that?
I loved it. I thought it was
Did you?
fucking
Did you?
awesome. Yeah.
I liked it too.
I thought it was
It
amazing.
was very entertaining.
Especially at the end where Cody's like literally
That's
crying.
that's
and
another
holding
bit.
the
So
belt.
save it. That's another bit.
What are we saving it for?
But for that match, like that
We're
match was
talking about that match right now.
that match was entertaining, right? So it was cool, like and how they finished it, and then how they set up to that. What you're talking about, like, hey, we were the only organization that sold out other than WWE for
Yeah,
wrestling,
Amazing.
and so
now what do they do? Like, do they?
what shows their power? It shows that what they can do, and maybe can be a threat.
Yeah, hopefully.
And hopefully it's not a threat. And
It'd be awesome
wrestling is
if they were at least a legitimate third wheel
exactly.
behind New Japan and
I'm with you on
WWE if they could possibly.
Well, the way I look at
which
it
would be awesome, and they could even unify New Japan with some of the independents and have them come over and do their All In shows, and kind of like they just did.
Well, it'd be no different with baseball. It's still baseball, but you have American League and National League, right? So it'd be no different. Yeah. But I feel you on that, and that totally makes sense. And I think they should. Yeah. You know, you might be able to find some undiscovered talent. You know, that has some. Yeah. You know. Yeah. Has some value. Yeah. I mean, you know, there's somebody trying to crack in the industry, and you get them young. Yeah.
Speaking of young talent. Flip Gordon during the 0 hour snuck in and won the over-the-budget Battle Royal to face Jay Lethal for the Ring of Honor Championship.
Wow. How amazing.
What an awesome, fun. Before the match, they showed Jay Lethal. So over the last few months, they've on Being the Elite, the YouTube channel for the Young Bucks, they've been showing Jay Lethal.
The little flashes.
He got bumped by a door. And so ever since then, he's had this thing where he gets tapped on the shoulder and he turns into the Macho Man. Dream! You look great!
On the gas.
What are you on the gas? It's so good. Oh, God, he does Jay Lethal does Macho Man so good. It's so awesome.
That's like so I'm trying to be serious. Hold on, I'm trying to be serious right now.
Dream!
And you know that.
You look great, brother. What are you on the gas? It's so good. So he comes out in full Macho Man form. He's got the Macho Man music. He's got the glasses. He's got the he's doing the
got the little shreds from the sleeves. Like
full on Macho Man mode. Yeah. He's grabbing Cody Rhodes' wife.
Brandy.
Brandy. Yeah. He's grabbing Brandy Rhodes, dragging her into his corner like she's Elizabeth, picking her up like and doing the same exactly the way Macho Man
and put it on his shoulder.
He's so good.
Oh, that was so classic. So good. And so, I mean, just goes on beyond like what you're saying though, like playing in character and playing so well. Yeah. And let alone have to do two of them.
People that didn't like that, like they felt like it took away from the Ring of Honor Championship, like it took away from the title.
Put more
and
attention.
It's like a gimmick kind of thing.
Like
your champion shouldn't do that kind of thing. Basically, like fuck off.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Like, boo.
It's fun.
Don't be jealous.
I mean, he does the best Macho Man ever. So let him fucking do Macho Man. It's awesome. It's amazing.
I was so hoping you wouldn't put that up tonight. That was classic.
Okada fought Marty Scurll as well at All In. That was an amazing match. It was fun match. Another fun match. Marty was really overpowered by Okada, and obviously, and they really played that up through the whole thing. Rey Mysterio in the main event came out. He was in a mixed tag, or in a tag, not a mixed. He was in a tag team with
Rey
Mysterio versus Rey Fenix and Bandito. And it was the Young Bucks and Kota Ibushi. Kenny Omega's partner. And that was what closed out the show.
Right.
They kind of felt a little rushed because they were on a time limit.
Why was that,
supposedly?
Why was that?
Because I guess the Marty Scurll match ran long. The Kenny Omega match ran long. There was another match that ran really long.
So it was just just compounding and just So they only have a lot of for time.
So by the time the main event came, it went from a 28-minute match to like a 12-minute match or an 18-minute match.
Wow, that's a big difference. That's a big difference. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it was like a 10-minute difference. So it was 28 to 18, I believe.
Gotcha.
And I didn't catch it, but supposedly at the end, you can hear the referee saying, "Go home, because
it's
time to. But after the event went dark, I've seen on Twitter some people
went dark. Now,
videos.
What's that mean though when you say went dark?
Went dark meaning it's after the TV.
Okay, so it's after the fact that it's already. So it's not
so
live.
I've seen some people with their little Twitter things that had some videos that posted, and Cody said that he said that tonight he said we proved that not one man owns wrestling, and that he's not feeling the vibe from over there, and he's planning on staying for a while.
And that's what I want to save till the end.
That is,
and that's what I want to save till the end, right there. You know, and we can have a debate on both sides, and that's what I want to save till the end. Your feelings and how you felt about that. So we'll save that till the end, because that was a really, 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 really honest to God, like a good thing. Like, wow. Like,
well, that was the end of the event, so
exactly, and he was out in the ring. I know, but we're not done with.
Okay, I got you.
And we'll do that at the end.
Okay, I got you.
That's what I wanted to save before you picked it up again, because I stopped you now twice. So.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
So, Monday Night Raw. We're a couple of weeks away from Hell in the Cell now.
Are you excited? Yeah, no.
I like Hell in the Cell. It's one of my favorites. I actually just watched Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose.
That was classic.
Me on my phone.
Yes.
I was watching it.
Yes.
That's what I was watching. That's what I was just the other day.
What's entertaining?
It's one of my favorites. Yeah.
Right.
I think it's going to be actually a pretty decent card.
Do you?
The Monday Night Raw, though, started out, though, with the Shield coming out. Braun Strowman brought his new pack out. He had
that was funny.
Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler with him, and they came out, and they tried to kind of dress down the crowd a little bit and turn Braun heely, and they still cheered him, so they kind of backed off.
That was interesting, right?
And then the Shield came out, and then the locker room came out to try to keep the Shield away from, because
what's happening.
Braun and Drew need some help. Apparently,
yeah, exactly.
They're just the baddest dudes in the fucking locker room. They need the rest of the locker room to come out there and help them.
We need your help. Yeah.
Come out here.
Come out here and help me.
Help me. I'm waiting.
My car's over there by the park.
Yeah, pick me up.
Pick me up.
So, the locker rooms come out in the back. They are split. You can see in the parking garage is like the heel side and the baby face side, and they're both yelling at each other.
Oh, for sure.
While the Shield are being arrested and thrown into the back of the paddy wagon.
So let me ask you something. So with this movement that's going on, so do you see them going elsewhere, or are they building up something for a one-time thank you, ma'am, bam, bam?
I kind of hope that what they're doing is they're going to build the Shield, like expand the faction kind of thing.
Right,
exactly. Maybe add some other members. And,
well, you got DX.
The locker room ganged up on us, so we're going to have to beef up a little bit kind of thing.
Well, we're seeing old legends.
Would be cool.
I'm with you. I love what you're saying. I love it.
I don't know.
No?
It's kind of a little bit too New Japan-y. And I don't think Vince is going to do it just because he doesn't want to be New Japan-y, maybe.
Well, we need to have rivals. Like, it's I'm tired of seeing the same thing.
Yeah.
Right?
So, it would be awesome if they did it. I just don't know if they're going to.
I hope they do. Yeah. I was just suggesting, and I hope they do. So, I mean, you know as much as I do, but might not happen.
Yeah.
Because it's what we want, not Vince. Yeah. So.
Yeah, and both SmackDown and Raw, they were both kind of setup shows this week. It felt like Alexa Bliss and Mickie James and Alicia Fox came out while Elias was trying to do his little thing, and
that's right, and she had the little
Bliss did the I
want
to walk with Elias.
Yeah,
baby
she had a little.
Tell you what, baby G.
Baby girl.
Baby G.
Baby G, I love it.
Baby G, I tell you what. And she got the crowd on her side. She came out and she said, I graduated here literally in this building.
Right. And what was the
and
chant she was
got him
saying?
to the OHIO chant.
Yeah, that was really funny.
Then she totally turned it around on him. And
so classic. Good heel.
Classic
Good
Alexa
heel.
Bliss.
Yes.
She turned it around and said, "That's exactly
She
why
owned
I
it.
left here, because you're a bunch of fucking zombies." Yeah.
She's like, I might recognize
So
some of you
they're setting
zombies
something
I went
up
to high
there
school with.
Bliss and Elias and they had a little thing with Ronda Rousey.
Well, it's
because
like what you
Bliss
said, though.
went
Well,
at
think about it, though.
Natalya for the match
Well,
was.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but it's kind of like what you said before, like tonight, actually,
Mm-hmm.
when they had the mixed tag team matches, and it takes away from the card,
Yes.
right? And so maybe that's what they're pumping right now, because now we're hearing about it, right? It's starting again. And then you made the comment, you're like, oh, God.
Here we go again.
Here we go again.
Why are they?
And I didn't know anything about it, and so now it makes sense.
Yeah.
And I see what you're saying. And it's like, boo.
Yeah.
It's like, so if you're doing that, so something's going wrong if you're not doing it over here. Like, you have to sell for this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Boo. Boo.
Man. Later on in the night, the B team took on, speaking of Drew McIntyre and Dolph the Ziggler, they took on, or they were backstage, and they were talking to Baron Corbin and said that
wanting a match?
Said,
Yeah.
they said that we want a tag team title match tonight, and he said, well, I've already got one with the Revival, so you can't have one because they have one.
That's
I said,
right.
well, what if something should, I don't know, hop into the Revival?
Yeah, yeah.
So
That's right.
then they, of course, later showed him beating the hell out of him backstage.
But isn't that
so
classic,
they couldn't-
though? Isn't that
it's
classic?
Such a classic.
That's a
storyline.
classic move, and they come sweet.
And then they, not only do they do that backstage, but they come out against the B team and they pretty much squash the shit out of them.
Yeah.
During the match.
Well, I
and
mean,
pick up the titles and.
well, look at it this way, B. Like, Jay, it would be no different than New Day or the Usos. They've won their belts back, or something like that.
Yeah,
right?
no,
Right.
Well, and like I said, that's what they were
Starting
trying
up
to
a
do. They
rival.
were trying to show how dominant they are because they beat
Right.
up the Revival, and then they came
Right.
out in a squash match and pretty much just stole the title.
It was kind of funny, though.
And they, like, where'd that come from? Like,
Yeah,
they said,
exactly.
They pretty much just stole them. They just
Yeah.
came out of nowhere. Weren't
you're
even
right, though.
Considered contenders, weren't even a tag team.
No, you're right, though. Where did that come
Came out
from?
and just stole it.
It came out, exactly. Where'd you come from? I have no idea. Who the fuck are you? Like, boo.
Speaking of stole it, were you a steal it candy kid when you were trick or treating?
Ooh.
Or were you you had your candy stolen trick or treating?
I
had my candy stolen by my mother, who would pick through it and tell me that
they're not good for you.
that
There's
yeah,
something wrong
those
with it.
are
It was
those are
open.
tampered with.
It was open.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's the kind of candy.
You
kid
know
I
what?
was.
I had free range, and me and my sister, we were able to we knew the boundary, so we didn't cross that boundary. So that's why we had a lot of trust. So my parents would stay back. My dad didn't do shit with that. He didn't he wasn't about it. But mom would pass out candy. And so me and my sister, we knew our territory where we could go, and we just did our thing. And, that's a sad thing about the youth nowadays, though. You can't do that nowadays.
See, when I was young, trick or treating age, I was in Stockton, and I got a shit ton of candy, and my mom went through a lot because you had to, because I was in Stockton, I had to.
Well,
Or she had
regardless,
to.
there's a lot of shit
Yeah.
going on.
Yeah.
But
I still got
from Fresno.
jacked.
Yeah, we all did. I got jacked one year, and I cried. And you know what happened? My sister gave me her bag.
That's cute. That's awesome.
And you know what I did? I told her I'd share it with her, and I ended up sharing it with her.
That's awesome.
So it kind of worked out.
Yeah.
And that's when I realized, my sister was, a beast.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was, I think 6. And there's a lot of things that I don't remember that I should.
But that's one of the things
But
that stick out.
there's a couple things I
Yeah.
do remember.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's really cool.
So.
Drake Maverick this week decided
Dude.
to play trick or treating.
Wow.
And he dressed up like a member of
That was awesome. That tricked me. Trick or treat.
He comes out in the full AOP gear with even got the patch that says Drake.
Absolutely.
Like, comes out of nowhere, and it looked so silly with him walking
funny.
down the ramp.
Your expression was pretty funny.
Like,
you look shocked.
So,
it was funny.
like, what are they doing?
Yeah.
Like,
where did this come from?
I get that Ellering doesn't want to do a full schedule.
But
sure.
why do you
that's
think?
Probably why they got rid of him in the first place.
Jay, why do you think he's there though? Why ultimately?
Because they're horrible on their own and they need a manager.
Yeah, maybe.
That's
right?
what they've found out. Because what have they done since they've come up to the main roster?
Not much.
Yeah, not much of anything.
Not much
and
at
they
all.
literally got rid of Paul Ellering when
Dude,
they made their
when they
debut.
exactly.
So he was the one that was the interesting part. Or he made them more interesting, I should say. He wasn't the interesting part. He made them.
I'm following you. I'm following you.
Enhanced their.
Yeah, absolutely. And I
So
agree
that's
with
what
you.
they're trying to chase now with Drake Maverick.
Right.
And they put him in the full gear.
Yeah.
It looked like he was a little kid trick-or-treat.
Well, his vest was probably the
was
size of like 3/4 of his size. Every time he'd walk, it would move. You know, it looked like a push-up bra. Oh, you didn't like
See,
that.
I didn't catch
you didn't
that.
like that. Huh?
I didn't catch that.
Oh, dude!
It
Every
was
time he
just
walked,
so bad.
every time he walked, the vest just went.
I just don't.
The vest
He
was like
he's
3/4
not-
the size.
They
He's
did the
like,
whole
yeah, no.
Hardy broken thing, and they
He's
didn't
like, I don't
involve
know.
him in it in any way whatsoever. And he was a big part of it when
He
they
was.
were in Impact.
Yeah,
Like,
he
it
was, and this is what you put him down to.
And this is what you've.
Yeah, no, I feel
You
you.
make him look like a goddamn trick or treater. Fuck off.
Goddamn trick or treat. Stop.
Shit. Later on in the night,
You're an idiot.
the big pumped up Shawn Michaels segment where he came out to
Oh.
the ring and he was
That
going
was your
to,
favorite segment. Yeah, that was your favorite segment.
Yeah,
What did you think about it? I'd love to hear. I know they would because I've already heard it and I think it's hilarious.
Yeah.
So I mean, tell me your opinion, Jay. Like
Okay.
I've already heard it, but you need to tell the people.
No, I cannot.
You
But-
should.
I should.
It's very
Yeah.
entertaining.
Yeah, it's quite entertaining, but
Trust
it
me.
would also get me in trouble.
It's very,
But Shawn Michaels did his little thing and said that basically that his buddy Triple H has more in the tank than the Undertaker does, and he kept he didn't call out the Undertaker, but he kind of
Right.
was.
Right.
He said his motherfucking name though. I wish a motherfucker
I
would.
wish a motherfucker would.
Yes, sir.
I wish I had Uber with that shit. Just call wish a
I
motherfucker
wish a
would.
motherfucker would.
They'll take care of it. I tell you what, like DoorDash. I wish a motherfucker would. Can you DoorDash that?
Wish a motherfucker
I
would.
tell you what, there's $5 on it. I put it.
So Shawn Michaels is saying that
Right.
Triple H is going to come out victorious, and even his Texas buddy Stone Cold thinks so too.
Uh-huh.
And he straight up said, Undertaker doesn't
So
have
he's got
what
a lot of
Triple
support.
H does, and then the gong hit.
Bong.
And at first, the lights didn't go out, so I'm thinking, okay, what are they doing?
Yeah.
And then dong, and the lights went out. Dong, and then I'm
You're
thinking,
gonna be excited to stop.
okay.
You stop.
And then I heard the crowd go kind of ape shit, and I'm like, okay,
And that's when lights-
they're seeing him, so
Yeah.
that must mean that
He's rising
yeah,
in the smoke.
he's coming out
In the smoke.
And then so Taker actually came out.
Dude, look at that.
Yeah.
You give me goosebumps. Look at that. That's goosebumps.
Yeah, and
Motherfucker.
He said that when back in the day he used to beat the hell out of Triple H and his buddy Shawn Michaels, and he'll do it again all over again if they both want to, pretty much. And he kind of called out Shawn Michaels, and Shawn Michaels said, "Hey, I've had plenty of opportunities to wrestle.
It was out of respect that I
and out
retired.
of respect to you, I
Right.
have not."
Right. Out of respect. Undertaker's sitting there, oh, really? So out of respect
You
out
call
of
it,
me.
it's fair.
No.
What it is fair.
Yeah. No, it's not fear. It's you can't win. You know what I mean? Like, I'm 22 and whatever, 2 or 1 or whatever. But that spinoff was cool because I hope that if Kurt Angle is a possible candidate to come
that
back,
would be bad to see Kurt get involved in it somehow, and because he's not doing the general manager thing currently. So
no, Corbin is.
Is he getting ready to get in the ring? And that way, is that why he's not doing the?
I tell you what.
No.
I tell you what.
There was a really, 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 really horrible segment with Jinder, Shanti,
Good Lord,
and Bob Lashley.
That was boring.
Bob was ordered to go to Jinder to learn to control his anger.
Oh, Bobby Lashley's anger.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
he's so angry.
Jinder brought him into the ring and had him sit down and shun.
Yeah.
And
let me light the spirit.
The supposed I quit Kevin Owens attacked Bob Lashley from behind.
You were chirping on that one. I think that's when that happened, when he came
Give
back.
me a little bit of storyline at least.
Yeah.
You just quit last week and all of a sudden you're
Right.
going to pop out of nowhere.
Right.
Come on.
I know.
Disappear for a little bit and then pop out with some dudes. Like, come on.
You weren't a fan of that. 'Cause,
No.
Yeah, now all of a sudden you want to show up. And,
Pop out with some other people in some sort of a faction and you're together. You're a group of badass motherfuckers.
Well, you're totally doing opposite of what you're trying to create. So
Yeah.
get with it. I feel you on that. Shit was funny. Not a fan. Yeah. Anyway.
I know you're not a fan of this one too, but I actually was. Braun Strowman and Finn Balor went at it again. This is their
I
third time,
love it,
I
Jericho.
believe.
Thank you. Love it.
Yeah. Oh shit! And we forgot to talk about Jericho coming out at All In too. We kind of blew right over the top of that, didn't we?
I'm gonna save it for the next one because that's my guy.
Well, I know,
wanna
but
do
there
my
is no
research.
next one
No.
for
No.
All In. But
No.
anyway,
No.
so
My recap.
yeah. So Braun
That's my guy.
and
That's my guy.
Finn Balor went after it. It was actually
That's
a really good
interesting.
match.
It was.
They together. They really do good work.
Well, their chemistry, their combination.
Yeah, they're really
and
good
just
together.
the way they were going back and forth, like
Yeah, they're really, really good together.
it wasn't like there was a slow point.
Yeah, I
you know?
don't mind seeing them again. They can even go at it again, and I'd be okay.
Yeah,
with
he's
that.
like, I don't mind.
I'd totally be fine with that.
No, I'm with you on that too because it was action packed.
Yeah.
You know, it was just back and forth, and I
Yeah.
liked it, and they kept the energy going.
Well, and at the end
know.
of their match, Braun ended up beating Finn, but at the end of the match,
Right.
there's the sirens, and Braun's looking around, and who is it? Apparently, the Shield, because Roman was the one backing the paddy wagon back into the arena.
Shit, that's
apparently
right.
the
That's
Shield
right.
were given permission to
Coming
drive
out there,
the
back
police
there.
car back
Exactly.
to the arena.
Yep.
Get come on.
Dude, don't make me laugh. You already make my cheeks hurt.
What? So Roman drives into the arena.
Did you just
Yeah,
say
I'm gonna
what
have to cut that out. So Roman drives into the arena. He backs up the paddy wagon and he opens up the back, and out come Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins.
That's right. They're all chested
and
out
they
with their
are
gear.
ready to go.
Yeah, they're ready to go.
And
That was
out come at
interesting.
the same time, though, out comes the entire heel locker room. The whole group just comes out, and they're attacking the Shield.
No, that was very
There's
entertaining.
a really, really scary moment when Seth gets thrown into the paddy wagon.
That didn't look
and
good, huh?
It was not intentional when he broke
No,
through that
no,
window.
no. That's why you're
And-
saying that. That's why you're saying that because it didn't
Yeah.
look good.
And
That was unnatural.
There's a point where he flops his arm over on Victor from the Ascension,
Thumbs up.
and it goes across his belly, and it's like a stream of blood. Like, it was brutal.
Oh,
Like, not PG stuff, not something that Vince wants to see, I'm sure.
so when people say that it is fake, of course it is.
No, of course, but
But
was
with that situation,
unintentionally
well,
real.
I'm just saying, with that situation, you still need to be an athlete because he continued the match.
no, he continued the
Right.
little segment.
I'm
that
just
they-
saying
that they had.
that's
and
savage.
he still let them pick
That's
him up,
savage.
and
Savage. Savage.
I'm worried that maybe he might be hurt, like hurt, because your elbow's got a lot
Well,
of
I'm pretty sure he's hurt. But he continued the match.
That's what went through it was the elbow.
Well, yeah, but he continued the match.
Well, it wasn't a match, though. It was
doesn't matter. Situation.
But, yeah, he continued the segment. Yeah. And, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, stud. He's a stud.
Beast mode.
Yeah. Beast mode or Brie mode?
Oh, I knew you're going
Brie
there.
mode!
I know that. What did you think about that? Like, with her return and...
Boo.
And
She's
even
so
Corey
horrible.
Graves...
Like, she missed a kick so bad.
Even Corey Graves called her out.
After she missed the suicide dive last week. It was so bad. She fell like straight on her face.
Do you know what Corey Graves compared her to?
Oh, God, who?
Rodney Dangerfield in School Times when he was doing the triple landing. Shut the fuck up. That shit was funny,
here.
bro.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was like Rodney Dangerfield could do the triple landing better than that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I about lost my shit when
God.
I heard that.
I didn't catch that. Oh, God.
Shut up.
It was Brie mode to start the week.
She
was standing in the middle of the ring.
She was botch. She was botch.
Botch
I mean, not posh, botch. Like, oh my gosh.
Oh, God. She's
Like,
really
there's
rusty, and
so
she
rusty.
wasn't really that good to begin with.
No,
so
but she was at least somewhat smooth
suitable, at least.
Suitable. There you go.
Embarrass herself
Suitable.
out there.
Suitable. There you go. Suitable. But dude,
So her and Daniel Bryan started out the night in the middle of the ring, and they're calling out the Miz and Maurice.
Hey Maurice, yes.
And
your guy,
yeah.
and your couple.
And then
by
they
the way,
show up on the Megatron, and the Miz is at a restaurant, an Italian restaurant in Detroit, and he says that they've bought out the restaurant because he and Maurice couldn't possibly eat with other Detroitians.
Detroitians.
Won't do it.
You can't do that
You're not
shit
gonna
with
do
me
it.
right now, bro. Detroitians.
Detroitians.
Get the fuck out.
Folks, you have to understand how much I messed with Steve during the pre-show to understand right now why he's actually laughing at that being so funny.
That was good, man. I'm trying to like recoup from fucking 20 minutes ago. So yeah, that segment was kind of interesting.
Yeah,
you know, it
they're
kind
doing a whole Andrade Cien Almas
Right.
and Daniel Bryan thing because Andrade came out with Zelina Vega.
Well, I like the mix. I like how they have the women involved.
I like that too.
Right?
I kind of
Make
adds a
them
little
relevant.
something different.
Make them relevant.
Yeah,
You know?
they've got the evolution thing coming up, so they're pumping the women super
Oh, of
strong
course,
right
of course.
now.
Was
So-
it the future,
But
the
yeah, I
then,
like
and the
that
now?
they've. I mean, it's something different at least, right? It's not the cookie cutter.
Oh
thing
no, I'm
that
with
they've
you. I'm with
done.
you. I love something different,
Yeah.
and it's been working. And obviously, where they're setting up the evolution, and honestly, it might bring me back like from my childhood. I mean, we got Mickey James and Lita, and you know, Strat. You know,
Stratus is gonna run,
right?
right? Isn't
So
she?
I'm just saying, like, I remember those girls when I was a teenager,
Right.
13, 14 years
Yeah.
old.
Yeah.
You know, doing the Monday Night Wars. Remember? You know, and so this is something that I would really, really love to see. And I'm very, very, very eager to see it because
No, I'm looking forward to it too.
I want to see what they have to produce and what
Yeah, I'm
they have
curious.
to, you know, give us an option. You know, Osaka, she's gone.
No, and I like the women's division. Honestly, most of the time I like the women's division more than I like the men's division.
Right.
But
Yeah, you do.
yeah, anyway. But
Seems fitting though.
yeah, no, it's gonna be awesome. And the whole Miz and Maurice thing, they were at the restaurant and then they were at the arena when Daniel Bryan and Brie went to the restaurant.
Yeah.
Because they said, "Oh, we feel like Italian. I hope they don't have a dress code," and they're dragging their luggage out,
Yeah.
like literally in their ring gear still. And
In their
then Miz
ring
and
gear.
Maurice show up.
Did
back
you
at
say
the
ring gear?
Yeah, they were in their ring gear still.
That's funny. Yes,
So,
yes, that's true. I like it.
Then the Miz and Maurice, they end up back at the arena, and they're saying, okay, where are they now? They're not here. And eventually, the Miz ends up in a match with R-Truth. They main evented the night after a pretty funny little segment with R-Truth.
Just trying not to interrupt you.
A couple segments with R-Truth trying to
I know that's your favorite
Carmella.
part of the night.
That was my favorite.
What's your quote? What's your quote? What's your quote?
I don't know what Carmella sees in you. Oh my God, I lost it when he said, I don't know what Carmella sees in you. Because Miz is being a total tool, telling him, like, the last time you were relevant was the last time you were with me, and that was, like, 7 years ago.
8 years ago. Yeah, exactly.
Just being a total bag.
Right.
And he says, I don't know what Carmella sees in you.
It just walks off. Just pouting.
He had mistaken Maurice for Carmella while he was backstage looking for Carmella.
Gotcha. Oh, that kind of makes sense and how it kind of flows and goes together.
There was the whole, they're playing up the whole,
right.
R-Truth is done.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, come on, man.
And then at the end, he says to Ty Dillinger, he's like, well, Ty's like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm showing you how to main event SmackDown. Like, it's all
you mean show me what?
Yeah.
I've been doing this for how long?
He's been playing games the whole time, kind of thing. Yeah.
So we
Speaking of playing games, Samoa Joe's still playing games with Wendy Styles and AJ Styles and his family. It was actually pretty fun this week. They said that because last week Samoa Joe said that he was going to tuck the kids into bed and that sort of thing. And he's like going to be at the Styles household.
Right.
And he came out to the ring and he said, hey, look at the bright side. I just delivered your husband to you on a precious Tuesday night.
So what's the bright side? Tuesday or night?
I got your husband to you. He was the whole thing. And
dude, that rivalry
AJ pops up on the Megatron, and you're thinking that AJ's far away.
Yeah, right.
And he cuts a little promo and says,
and it comes out in the ring,
and then the music hits.
Yes.
And here
you don't want none.
You don't want none.
Yep. Man. Well, the thing with me too, though, is they've known each other for a long time. So I mean, I think if you're gonna do something personal like that, because it
better be with somebody that
my side, right? I just think that just kind of hits a little too close to home to me, and so it's a little too personal.
They've hit way too close to home,
but they've known each other for a long.
Any two dudes are going
time.
to, and not.
So if you're gonna do that, and I see that just to get the realm and get this little extension, a little tree, right? To the DNA, right? Mm-hmm. And so you're branching off, and you're trying to set up stuff, and I get it, and I think he feels comfortable with him that he's able to do that, because I've told you, man, like, everybody talks about my family like that.
Yeah,
we about to fuck shit up.
Yeah, I got you.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so if anybody, I think,
well, and that's
the
thing that they're trying to deliver home is to average everyday listener, you talk shit about my fucking family and we're gonna have a problem.
Right.
Like, that's where you cross the line. That's a line that you don't cross.
But then you search further to understand and see why that was
that's why
expression.
They're doing it.
Exactly. I see your point. And that's marketing, and it's beautiful. Yeah. It's genius.
Yeah.
And so
makes it feel like a real fight. Like he really wants to fuck him up.
11,000 and how much?
Oh, 11,273.
Boom. So even though we're not talking about that, but that's why it sold that much. 32. Because of situations like that. Right? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's beautiful. I love it.
Something different.
Yeah, it is. It's something different, but
and Samoa Joe's whole thing is trying to make it feel real. Like that's his whole edge.
Oh, of course,
trying to do is he's trying to make it feel real, which is exactly what he should be doing, because you're trying to keep up with his whole thing. Is you're trying to keep up with at this point. You're trying to keep up with MMA and actual real fighting.
Well, that's the thing too. That's why they steal from.
You have to make it feel more real than you have to. You have to put more focus on making it feel real now than you did before, because like it can't be cartoony. Is Samoa Joe's?
We have a label you need to sell, and you need to preach it, and you need to pump it up, and you need people to have to buy it.
Should feel like exactly. I've literally heard him say with MMA going on, we have to make it feel more real because there is real stuff going on where guys are really beating the hell out of each other, and people can just buy the pay-per-view to watch that.
Well, that's with the popularity with that sport. You know, people think that's cool, and it's like, you know what? Like, these are actual trainers, black belts or instructors, or they have experience in this, and you don't. Just because you see it the way it is, and maybe shit leaks out.
Right.
You know what I mean? And you see it the way it is, it's like, oh, this is the way it's supposed to be, and this is why I want to do it. And so, like, even with, like, bonsaiing and yoga, and, you know, it's not all about all that shit. You know, all the hype. You know, there is positive sides out of things, you know. That's why there is bonsai. That's why there is koi. That's why there is a bonsai.
Kind of like there is All In now, too, as opposed to just being WWE.
Were you excited with that?
You have no idea.
Yeah, I know you were. I know you were. What'd you think about that, though? I mean, I knew you were excited.
I wish Dusty was still around to be able to see Cody.
Yeah.
Like, that would be, because you know how proud he must be right now of his boy to do
that
what
he
he
did all that. Yeah, I agree with you on that.
Just the event itself would have been enough. But for him to win his former title in a match where it was like a throwback, kind of like a tip of the cap, like the stuff they did was like the old school MWA type stuff. Like, you know, it was like, and the way they finished it with the roll up and Cody cutting himself, and like, it was just, the whole thing was just such a
good blast off.
Cheers to old Papa. You know, like, so like I just think he would have been so unbelievably proud of him. I'm sure he is. So somewhere he's so unbelievably proud of him.
But if that was your kid, would you be proud, and why? Like, why?
Because of all that right there that
he continued, but that he continued and is continuing. He doesn't have to continue now.
Well,
maybe
yeah,
it was just
now
to make his dad happy,
did his thing,
right?
And,
right.
Well, and who knows? Maybe he's going to take the whole NWA title thing and branch off from that and make something of that. And Billy Corgan, he's a pretty aggressive owner, and he's got some ideas of his
Smashing
own.
Pumpkins, yeah. I just hope they do something creative, you know, and I understand the count, the money.
I'm sure they're going to do something with they're not just going to throw the belt on Cody and have him drop it here in a few weeks.
You can't.
Yeah, it's not going to be like that sort of thing. It's going. This is the beginning of something. It has to be
right.
And they've got to do another All In.
A transition.
They have to now.
A transition. Yeah.
After you sold out 11,232 seats or whatever,
All In,
34 seats or whatever it was that they sold.
Yeah, why do you think you call it All In?
Yeah, they got to have an All In too. You have to.
Yeah.
Have to. So one of the things that we want to try to do is try to get a little bit more of your involvement, because quite frankly, we don't like just sitting here telling you what we think about what happened with the week of wrestling. We want you to tell us what you thought about the week of wrestling.
So then I pick out the questions, right? And so you did too, right? And so I went with one and you went with one.
Yeah.
And so I will start off with the one that I picked. And this hoe happens to be Mark out of Virginia. And so you're lucky. You're the one I picked, right? Because you picked one. And all the selections that we had.
What's up, Mark?
Yeah, right? What's up, bro? In Virginia, VT. What's up, bruh? So he said, were you guys at All In?
No.
And All In was in Chicago.
Yeah,
right?
I wish. That would have been awesome.
Dude, that would be amazing.
We're actually in California. We're near Sacramento.
Yeah.
So we're...
nowhere close.
Yeah,
the Chi-Town.
Not going to happen kind of thing.
That would have been pretty cool,
We actually struggled to watch. We couldn't watch the 0 hour because we don't have WGN America here.
Yeah.
With
that's
our
Eastern
cable
over
service
there, right?
because it's that side of the country thing.
3 hours later.
Yeah, so we have to stream Ring of Honor on the computer.
But you do a very good job at that, by the way.
Because we can't get it hear any other way. We've got to go through.
Well, he followed up on that, and he said that he
awesome.
thought he saw us, and so
I wish you did, brother.
I mean, I wish I was there. I wish you saw us.
I wish you did.
I mean, if you saw us, I would probably buy you a beer.
I would have bought you a beer if
You
would
would've
have
bought
saw
one
us
too,
there.
huh?
Yeah, you should have come up to us and saw us if you saw us.
So,
there.
Mark, keep listening. I appreciate it.
Hopefully you see us at a show someday somewhere, and you can come up to us and
Possibly.
we'll buy you a beer. How about that?
Possibly. Keep listening, bud.
Well, Steve will buy you a beer.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna buy you shit.
I like how you just. I like how you did that. So we got Edward in Chicago, Chi-Town, right?
Chi-Town, home of All. I wonder if he was in All In. Or at All In.
That's the home place, right? That's where All In's at.
Went.
So he's asking. He's I got a survey.
This is my question, by the way. I know he's a good fan. What's up, Edward?
So you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. So he's on our stuff, on it. So Edward in Chicago, he said, I got a survey a while back from WWE asking if I would like a non-PG show on the network. So what do you mean, like, non-PG? Like, is that violence?
So
words?
In the chat with Edward that I had, he thought that maybe they might bring back ECW, which...
Like, as far as hardcore goes, or...
See, I don't think that they'll go as far as full hardcore.
Right.
But just something non-PG, like something with a
Kinda
little
extreme,
bit more edge to it would be... I'm not saying you got to cut each other up with screwdrivers.
He's all cut each other up.
Attack each other with screwdrivers and chainsaws.
That's
and
funny.
Stupid shit like that.
Yeah.
Or barbed wire.
But do you see a future in this, though? I mean, do you see
Light
this
each other
going
on
anywhere?
fire.
You know, do you see this going anywhere? Is there a future?
I don't know.
I mean, right?
It would be cool. It'd be awesome, but...
That's a good question, Edward. And you know what? I honestly think that we don't have that talent base to where we can actually say that we can do a side experiment. Because that's basically what it'd be.
The only thing that I just thought of, too, is with the whole All In, if as successful as it's been,
right,
they might want to
build
an independent league where
it's competition.
Yeah, and they do some of the things that All In.
You've been talking about that for a minute.
They do maybe something that's a little bit different, and
that's a great idea.
They call it ECW or they call it whatever. They own so many goddamn wrestling companies now. They can call it whatever they want. And
that's
still
a good
have the
idea.
Rights to it.
No, that totally makes sense, and especially how things are transitioning and how things are going nowadays.
That might not be so bad. I mean,
right.
So anyway, thank you very much for listening. We very much appreciate it. We love you guys. Again, if you could please click subscribe down below, and don't forget to click that little notification bell to receive notifications when we post all our new stuff.
Yeah.
Our idea is that we record on Thursdays and post on Fridays because we like to see what's going on with Ring of Honor, NXT, 205 Live.
We
like to see the whole gambit, so we record it on Thursdays. That's why we
gambit.
And we don't watch New Japan yet, which is on Fridays. But
we will.
We're kind of getting there. We're leaning towards it already.
We're trying to catch our speed and get our skates on, and get our rhythm.
We both become Kenny Omega fans, so we. Okay, one of us is becoming Kenny Omega.
That's for a date or debate, not a date.
Anyway, so thank you guys for listening. We really appreciate it. Love you guys. Good night.
Get it all, yeah, I never stop it. I'm always popping this microphone and I'm dropping this heat and I'm never stopping. It's about action, we making moves, we actually be making plays. When we step to the microphone, we kill this every day. Steve and Jay, what's up? We about to cruise. Y'all sleeping on a snooze. Wake up if it's the crew.